Well, good evening, folks. Morning, noon, or night. Who's to say? Felt like I'm going to tell you guys a good old Cajun story, you know. It's just 'cause we got cities down here where I'm from. We still got to deal with the swamps and the creatures that live in it. I remember when I was a young guy, I had a couple of these old Walker hound dogs. And they pretty good sized dogs, you know, and I take them out hunting, just me and the two dogs. And whenever I would take an alligator, one I've got the tag for, I can harvest him in the season. And whenever I put one on dry ground, my Walker dogs, you know, they just go crazy. Their names were Rusty and Roo. Rusty and Roo. And if it's one size enough where you don't want to pull it in the boat, you're out there by yourself. So I put the nose of that boat up on the bank and drag his ass up on that muddy bank, up on that dry ground. And get him subdued, you know. Rusty and Roo, they already knew how deadly this thing was. They knew how strong it was. They knew everything. And because the first time both of them ran over there and grabbed a hold of his hind legs, he rolled them in the mud a couple of times when they were younger. So whenever it come to bringing one up out the mud and getting him up on the bank and having to get him subdued, you know, I want to try to keep him alive as long as I can, if you understand what I mean. I don't want to just terminate this thing right when he comes out of the water. I want to subdue him, keep him fresh. And once I'd get the old gator subdued, then Rusty and Roo, it was like payback time, you know. They'd go over there and just grab a hold of his legs and just tell him, yeah, we got your ass. And they would just leave it. They would do that every time. And they'd go get back in that boat, you know what I mean? Those dogs were amazing. And that's just one of them old crazy ass swamp stories, you know, where there's dogs that are pets and there's dogs that are tools. And Rusty and Roo, they were pretty much tools. They were very dependable in the woods, you know, in the hunting aspect of it. They were very intelligent, and that's my breed of dog. It's a hunting breed dogs, and you'd be amazed, you know, how they'll save you lots of time, you know. Things ever happen, you got to make that animal work for his money. And I know a lot of you soft people out there say, well, it's my pet, but it's an extra mouth to feed if times had to get rough, you know. So depend on the animals around you if you're going to have animals. And remember on my previous videos on how I say, and I emphasize that you have to feed your animals if you have animals. If you can't afford to feed the animals that you have and nobody else wants them. You know, the only way anybody's going to need them is in a skillet. And I know that sounds, but whenever times get so bad, if the chickens don't get enough feed, the chickens go in the skillet. You know, the hogs go in the smokehouse. You know, we are the humans, and anything outside of your household that's not human is just another mouth to feed. You have to understand that. So, anyways, until the next time, Zombie Force out.